It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. The NFL schedule is so huge now that they're like multiple days. Everybody's getting involved. Bryan Bulaga, not yet in the Packer Hall of Fame. I'll ask to have Jason when Brian's not on the show. This year in the summer, I believe it will be Mark Murphy only inducted in the Packer Hall of Fame. And then after that, I don't know how many years it is, but I will make the first prediction. What's today? May 12th. May 12th. Unless I'm missing something, in the 2026 Packer Hall of Fame, the inductee will be Bryan Bulaga. There may be someone else as well. I will not ask Bryan Bulaga to respond because he's wishing right now that he's glad that I didn't bring up the topic that was on with the last show, but he's really has no interest in this discussion. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes.
Yes.
We'll see where it goes.
That's good. It's just proving how nice you are, but it doesn't really help to have a story out going, yeah, he says I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. I could see Brett Favre saying that. I mean, the Packer Hall of Fame. But anyway, I wanted to ask you about the schedule, like there are 25 different places. And you mentioned what you looked at. I want to know if there's any truth to a schedule changing in any way, the way the coach either prepped you during training camp or anything, because my thought is no, but I don't know. Is there any year that you can remember where what you did was changed in any way by anything on the schedule?
I don't think so. I mean, I think, not like there just wasn't like, like maybe there was a chance as we got into later in a training camp, if we had a game that started at potentially 3:25 or something like that, we would push practices a little bit later towards the end of training camp to get a better feel for a 3:25 kickoff, so to speak.
But so just for maybe the first game, that would be it.
Yes.
It's not like if you played the Bears twice in the first 6 weeks that you would do something regarding the Bears in training camp at all. I'm assuming.
No.
Okay.
No, not really. Like, I mean, it's just, you would, if anything, you would potentially, like, in probably the third or fourth week of training camp when it was actually that way, when you'd have 4 preseason games, if everyone ever remembers
that's right.
that.
Yes.
You used to have 4 preseason games. The starting guys, or the guys that would be, the penciled in starters, they would start getting carded looks for the week 1 opponent, right? So like they would, we would get some work in against the week 1 opponent, just basic introductory things, nothing crazy, because, you wanted to respect the time of the guys that were there still trying to make the team and still playing in these preseason games, right? Like you wanted to respect what they were doing and help them along. But at the same time, I mean, the job was the job at hand, and that was coming up in a week or whatever it was, or 2. And that was to win week 1. So you would start to prep for that and get an idea of what that team liked to do, or what fronts they ran, or personnel or pressures they ran from the year prior, what they'd shown on tape in the preseason. And you get an early head start on them. But from a overall change of schedule and thing like that, no, like that never did it. Now, we never had any, we never did anything like go to Brazil in week 1 like the Packers did last year. You know what I mean? We never did anything like that. So I don't know if LaFleur changed anything last year getting ready for that, but I can't imagine he did too much, but I don't know.
And again, 1-800-990-3776 if you have a question for Bryan Bulaga, and you can go on YouTube as well. I claim if people really care that much, they have questions, and if they don't have questions, then you may care, but not as much as you say. I always have questions about the Green Bay Packers every day. If Bryan Bulaga was on every day, I would have questions. Here's my latest question. Of all the years that you were with the Packers, and even when you're with that other team, Chargers, right? Is that who you were with? I forget.
Yep.
The most or any impressive rookie that caught your attention or maybe even teammates talked about, and how early, if ever, that actually occurred?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. You can take a day on it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I can. It's funny because you think about, and this is why it's a good question, because in Green Bay, because of where we drafted a lot, rookies didn't get tons of opportunities to say shine against the ones, right? Like they wouldn't get a bunch of opportunities to flash up against the ones on any side of the ball. They just didn't, right? Because like those sides of the ball were essentially, there were guys well established there. Every now and again, someone would get their opportunity and they would make the most of it, but it would normally take something really unique or special for someone to pop as a rookie, right? Like it's just the way it is. Like,
well, and you're picking 18, 25, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And there's push for the team to feel like they need to really push somebody because he was picked so early.
Like those examples are like Dave Bakhtiari and Corey. Those guys, like you thought they were solid players early in camp, and then as the season got later on,
right,
you became more and more impressed. But like early on, they didn't catch your attention as like, oh my gosh, these guys are going to be what you thought they turned out to be 5 years down the road, right? Like it wasn't.
I don't know. That's why I asked. I wouldn't.
No, like it wasn't what you thought. Now, someone who did was actually out in L.A., and his name he's the left tackle there now, Rashawn Slater. That guy turned out to be. He caught my attention immediately. He was as advertised. He came in right away. The way he moved, the way just everything about him, jumped off the tape. I mean, how he was able to handle edge rushers right off the get. The guy was good. He was just good, and he's been good. But he's a perfect example. I think he was picked number 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it was. And he was inserted right away. So he was a different example. The Green Bay just doesn't have those, right? Like they just don't get many of those examples, at least from when I was there. But like there's been guys that have been later round picks that have come good, like, in year 2, like Tay's a good example. Like it's just, as rookies, you're limited in opportunity wise, right? Unless you are just forced in because of injury right away. And that normally doesn't happen all the time, right? Like it just isn't a common occurrence in Green Bay because there's always, like, I feel like a backup plan. They always have a plan. Like there's always a plan. I mean, I obviously think if you're a first round pick, you got to be ready to go. I mean, you're getting drafted for a reason, but like you look at, like you draft D linemen, there's an obvious rotation there, right? Like you're getting rotated in and out of the game, like no matter what, even if you're a stud like Clay was. Like Clay jumped off the tape right away as a rookie. Like I think everyone saw him right off the get and was like, yep, this guy's good. We know it. Like he's going to be good. Like he's a different example, right? Like he was right away. But like BJ Raji, another first round pick, probably took him like till year 2 for people to realize how good he was. Every case is different. And for, at least how I feel about it. But it's all based on opportunity, in my opinion.
All right. And I disagree with you. I know because I think it's based on talent. You're going to make me a list of people that would have been great if they had a better opportunity. And I'm going to have a list of 500, like Bryan Bulaga. I'm sorry. It was not opportunity. You were that good. Now, maybe you wouldn't have been as good somewhere else, or if there were stupid people, They might not have recognized how good you are, but I have this argument about Brett Favre. Well, if Mike Holmgren hadn't been around. No, Brett Favre was going to be great. I don't know that he would have been that great. He might have self-destructed, but there's a certain level of talent that I don't think.
Well, no. Okay, so here's a perfect example.
Right.
Would I have popped as a rookie if I didn't get the opportunity of Tauscher getting hurt?
No.
Exactly.
But you would have popped as a second-year player and third-year player.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Oh, okay. Or how quickly you get a chance. All right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. How quickly you get a chance. Mine was more like over the course of a career. Had that not happened, I still think you would have played, I don't know, 8, 9. I mean, if you hadn't gotten hurt, who knows how long you played. But all right, yes, to be able to have a chance and be noticed right away as a rookie. All right, I stand corrected. You're 1,000% on that. All right, now, let's go back to quarterback. Mm-hmm. You don't have to say who your college quarterback was, but explain what impressed you or amazed you when you played with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I mean, listen, in college, I mean, my QB in college, I thought he was good. His name was Ricky Stanzi. Like, I mean, he started, I think what he started, 2.5 years at Iowa.
I know nothing about him. Was he a good runner, a good passer? What was he?
He was more of a passer than a runner. Taller guy. But obviously at Iowa, we were running school, right? Like we ran the football, but
that's what I've heard. Yes.
But he threw the ball well.
Okay. So you thought he was pretty good?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I mean, we won the Orange Bowl my junior year. You know, that was a BCS Bowl game at the time, right? When it used to be the non-playoff era, right? When you had to, you know, it was a different time in college football. But when I got to Green Bay, and you get into the swing of things and you start kind of getting around Aaron, right? And it's not just like, you know who Aaron Rodgers is and you've seen the tape of like him in game film and then in practice film, and you haven't been on the, you know, actual practice field with him yet because you're just watching tape and seeing.
Right, and he wasn't a superstar yet.
Not at the time, but you saw I mean, how many times I watched that Arizona game from the year prior? Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know, whatever you say.
I mean, I watched that. I mean, we watched it a bunch, right? I mean, going into that offseason.
And why did you watch it a bunch?
It's just what the group did, right? We watched the tape of it, mistakes, correcting.
The playoff game.
Yeah, a lot of protection, like cleaning up protections.
With the belief that we got to do better, or the team should have gone further, or I don't know why. Maybe do you always do that with the playoff games, or is it just
no?
Okay.
No. I mean, at least once I got there, if we lost the playoff game, we were not rehashing it.
I mean, you feel like you should have won that game, like the official didn't help you there, right?
Yeah, I wasn't playing in that game.
Correct, but you watched it.
Oh yeah, I watch it, but like the calls that were made, hell if I know, right? Like, I mean, it's like it's like I'm
not saying anything. I'm new.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't on the field. I mean, it wasn't. I wasn't emotionally attached to the game.
I don't know. Wasn't there a play late in the game where it was Rodgers was hit and it should have been roughing the passer? I can't remember last week, so I'm sorry I brought it up. But anyway, all right, back to watching the Arizona.
But like you see the things he does on tape and the throws he makes, and it's obviously amazing, right? Like, and you're wowed by it, and
wowed by how far he can throw it, how accurate he can throw it, how hard he can throw it. I don't know any of this stuff. What
to me, it's accuracy, like how he's able to put it wherever he wants all the time, and I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but that's before you step on the practice field with him. And obviously, as a rookie, I mean, I took only a few snaps with the ones. That's when Chad wasn't practicing during OTA, so I would go in there and I would take the snaps. And the command of the huddle and at the line of scrimmage was the first thing to me that jumped off the page. I mean, it just jumped off the page, like how on top of every little detail that he was. And like, obviously he's going to be like, now that, you know, obviously you look down the road and obviously he's on top of all these things, but like he knew everything about every single thing about everything the defense was doing. He had a check for it. He would be getting us in and out of plays, and like that amazed me as a rookie. I'm like, this guy knows everything. Like, how does he know this pressure's coming? He'd change it, and he would change the offensive line call. We'd pick up a pressure, and I'd be like, man, how does he know that pressure's coming? Like, that's crazy. And we would just fall right into it.
Did you ever ask him?
No, I didn't really want to talk to him that much. I was a little nervous. I'm like, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure I'm blocking my guy. Like, I just want to make.
But you're thinking, hey, if I block well, we block well, good things are happening with this guy.
Yeah. Yes, 100%. Obviously this was OTAs too, my first time around him. And back then OTAs, the defense went really hard. Like they were going hard. It was a different time again in the NFL. I was going against a young Clay, and Clay was Clay.
He was very good.
Yes, was very good and very aggressive, and always wanted to beat. I was drafted a few slots higher than him, so he wanted to prove a point. I get it. It's fine. But it was very competitive. We'll put it that way. It was very competitive periods. And I felt like if he was completing passes like at such a high rate all the time. And you're just like, this is crazy how many passes this guy's completing. Like, it's insane. Like, and he knows the defense where everyone's going to be at all times. He's changing plays. And like, it just was easy. Like, and then when I would step back and I'd watch him when I was obviously not with the ones and Chad was practicing, and I'd just watch him work. It was like you'd watch the ball come out of his hand and how he would lead guys and drop passes in over safeties and fit balls in between linebackers and deep. Like, it was just not. And you're like, what is that?
Now,
like,
and then at some point you got to feel, I felt this way with doing Wade, like you're seeing the Beatles in Liverpool. Like, as it went on, you went, I was there. I saw it. And you weren't the slightest bit surprised of how he got MVP or anything that he won, right? From the very beginning.
No, nothing surprised. I mean, from my first experiences being around him and then how it obviously played out throughout my time with him, none of it shocked me. None of it shocked me, because my first impression of him was, this guy is unbelievable. Like, he's unbelievable. And then I get to know him better, right? From a, just a personal standpoint, obviously slowly, but like picking his brain football wise and how smart he is, like just how he knows everything. He knows everything.
All right, now we get to the good question. You ready?
Yeah.
So if you had ended up going to the Bears, what would you have told them was their best chance against Aaron Rodgers? Was there anything that you knew that bothered him more than other stuff? Or would you just say, good luck? Guy knows everything. He's going to know ahead of time what you're going to do. There had to be the best way as a defense to deal with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, the best way, I mean, the best way was always the way teams would rattle us and beat us if you were able to rush 4 only, and you were able to beat us up front, rush 4 and drop 7 and just absolutely flood out the rest of the field and contain the rest of the weapons with 7, right? Like, if you were able to get home with 4 within 3.5, 4 seconds and move him around in that pocket, you could do that, right?
Is that what the Giants did? Or was that?
No, that's not.
Okay.
No, but like the 49ers were really good at it, right? With like the Bosa and all. Like,
all right, we're going to continue this because it's hard for you to believe that I'm behind. But this is, I don't have to tell people it's really good. They already know it's really good. Second quarter next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got the left lane blocked on 894 westbound, right about at 84th Street with a crash. Squad is out there blocking that lane, so it's definitely going to be slowing down all the way back to 27th Street. On the eastbound side, everybody's got to slow down to take a look at what's going on the other side. So we got delays backing up through the Hale interchange. Technically, those delays start around Greenfield Avenue. Westbound 94, you got your backups out of the Marquette heading all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound, also slow from Hawley Road all the way through the stadium. If you take that back a step, we do have delays from 76th Street all the way to Holly Road. And then on southbound 43, a heavy ride from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a few showers later on, a low of 52. Tomorrow, scattered showers, mostly cloudy, a high of 65 at the lake, 74 inland. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care recently switched to James Imaging Systems for their document imaging technology. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
Well, I think that boils back down to the service. We have a good partnership with James Imaging.
With James, you get more than a vendor relationship. You get a local business technology partner.
Oh, absolutely. I can pick up the phone at any time, contact our representative, and he's right on it.
James Imaging Systems, business technology and local support for more productivity, more value.
Definitely. We're a nonprofit here. We have to watch every penny, so we really feel very comfortable in that area with James Imaging.
Comfortable enough to recommend James Imaging Systems to others?
Well, without hesitation, I would recommend James Imaging. They won't be disappointed.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at 3rd Street Market Hall, Milwaukee, Broad Stop Kenosha, Bullwinkle's Brookfield, Curly's Waterfront Pewaukee, and the new Fashion Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at schneiderjobs.com. That's schneiderjobs.com.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jackson Churio Star Wars night bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yeah, what's it like playing for Aaron Rodgers before you know he's Aaron Rodgers? And then when you know he's Aaron Rodgers, did Aaron Rodgers change? All that's coming up with the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, but not until Bryan does what he does best, talks about a partner.
That's right. I want to talk about my friends at Surfside. It is golf season in Wisconsin, and it's golf season in Florida. And when it's time to reach for a cold beverage, it is always going to be Surfside iced tea and lemonade plus vodka. It's light, refreshing, and made with real vodka. Surfside tastes cleaner than all those other drinks and doesn't leave your mouth feeling like it's coated in sugar. Plus, there's a great variety of flavors, like my favorite, the half tea, half lemonade. They call that the John Daly. Strawberry lemonade, peach tea, and so many more. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so you won't be feeling bloated and full after a drink or two. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly.
And I always tell you about the amount of time with my partners. American Place Casino, half hour south of Franklin. American Place Casino, a half hour south of Franklin. And if you are particular, you could actually say, if you want, 38 minutes. American Place Casino. It's actually located in Lake County, Illinois. Great table games, great slot machines, sports book, and all kinds of food. And they now have comedy shows. You go to AmericanPlace.com/entertainment. Jay Moore performing Saturday, May 31st. So they have various shows. It seems to me they're on different days. So you just got to go to AmericanPlace.com/entertainment for all the comedy shows. They wanted to come up with something that would maybe talk about something other than just a half hour south of Franklin. Just a half hour south of Franklin. American Place Casino. Talking with Bryan Bulaga. It's the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Yes, my fascination to talk about Aaron Rodgers and what it's like to be an offensive lineman. You didn't know he was Aaron Rodgers. Was there any one game, or, as you alluded to, was from the beginning so good that nothing he did after that ever really surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, like, I knew, obviously, once we got in the, like, you know, OTAs, like, I knew this guy's really good. Like, obviously, he is special. Like, there's no doubt. You get into training camp, you see him work when obviously things start to get a little bit more real.
And
right?
you're a rookie. People should know this.
Yep, I'm a rookie.
Right, okay.
And then we go to Philly week 1, and, you know, and we beat Philly, and I got to see him play in that game, you know, from the sidelines, because I wasn't starting. I was backing up Tausch and Cliff, and I actually got to watch him work, and it was amazing. Like, it was really amazing to watch him play, and I was like, this guy's amazing. And then you would come to the sideline, you know, the guys would come off the field, they'd come to the sideline, and you'd be hearing, you know, the O-line coach Campy, he'd be talking to the center and the guards, asking, like, what was the check here? What was the check there? You guys picked this up. What? And you're hearing what Aaron checked on every blitz, and he would pick things up, and you're just like, how is he seeing that? Like, how is he able to check into that and see these pressures and pick that up? And like, just continued to do it, and he would always do it. And people, and you know, that takes so much time to study that. That's not just like, oh, I watched that pressure once or twice on tape, now I can just automatically see it. Like, that is time studying guys' mannerisms, studying coverages, studying guys like body language. Like, that is understanding defenses and really studying the tape of teams. And that's week 1. Right.
So no he wowed the other offensive linemen as much as you, or not?
I think so. I mean, I think obviously those were veteran guys, right? Like, they'd been with them for a while, right? They've already been on the team with them for multiple years. It was my first time around him, so, like, to me, I'm amazed by this. Like, but they've been seeing him do this for, you know, his 1 year starting the year prior, and then on the practice squad, you know, when I went on the practice squad, but he was running the practice squad when Brett was there and all that. And he was torching the defense and doing that. So they had seen this. Like, this wasn't anything new to them, right? And that's how it became to me when I started, you know, playing, you know, as I became a starter in my time as years went on, it just became routine seeing.
Do you watch? Have you watched since you retired? Can you, watching on TV, get any idea of another quarterback who's that smart, or is it just not? You just can't tell and know the same stuff for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, you could tell, obviously, Mahomes is intelligent. Like, he sees a lot of things too. Mahomes gets in and out of things well. I think Allen does it too. I'm trying to think of other guys around the league that are really good at it. Okay. I think Burrow's pretty good at it too. I think Burrow's able to see it. Lamar Jackson, I mean, just absolute freakazoid, but like, his system and his scheme and how they run it, he's able to see things so well because of how the system is set up. So, like, the way they do things, he's able to see the whole field and manipulate defenses to his style, and that's how he's able to see things. So, like, Lamar Jackson does things really well. God, I'm just trying to think.
No, I got other stuff.
Of other QBs.
Jones talked about how with a young receiver, it could take like 2 or 3 years to figure out Rodgers. So I don't know what that means, because clearly it didn't take you much long time to figure out because of what he did. But
because what I had to figure out was to keep him upright. So like that's my like I had to learn his movements in the pocket, right? Like what he'd like to do, where he liked to escape, how deep he was going to drop. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes how long he wanted to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, I didn't get to that yet.
Sometimes he wanted to do that. Like, just little things that he liked to do, right? Like you have to learn those things about your quarterback and what he likes to do and how he likes to manipulate.
I can tell you
the
what
pocket.
I would know if I were you. He likes to hold on to the ball forever, so I assume I'm going to have to block forever. That's if it's a negative or I just assume that's the toughest part. I don't know how you know that as the play's developing. What as the play develops, and I mean, you can't look around. I don't know what happens where you just figure every play. If you might have to block for 5 seconds, 8 seconds.
You could feel it in the pass rusher, and you can kind of see it in their eye. Like when you're in tight with a D end, you can read their eyes, right? Okay. Because they're looking directly at him over your shoulder. So like if they're still looking at him, he still has the ball. So like to stay in contact with your guy, right? The minute they turn their head, that means he's gotten rid of it. Or sometimes you could hear the ball whiz by.
And you're thinking, come on, turn your head. You can't look back and go, Rodgers, what are you going to keep the ball for a week? Right?
I mean, I'll put it this way. More times than not, he would keep it and he'd do something really good with it. So
so it's worth it.
It was one of those trade-offs that like you would get upset, but at the same time, he made something happen. So how can you turn around and get mad at him? Like he would look at you and go, did it work out? And you'd be like, yes, it worked out. Okay. Like, yes, it did. Like, so you couldn't get mad at him. Right. I mean, and
I don't know. I'm asking you. You can say whatever I would say there'd probably be an offensive lineman. I don't know who it was at one point and say, nice play, but you're going to hold the ball for a week or what? I don't.
No, but he would. And the thing is, he would, he'd give us praise for it. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like he never. It was never a thing like, well, listen, he held us to a high standard, right? He expected a lot out of us, but at the same time, when we would do go that extra bit, protecting him. I mean, he gave us the praise for it, right? And he was good at that, right? So, that's
this
the credit
is all
to him.
news to all of us. That's so anything you say, we don't know. Now, what gets to me now, based on what you said, that if you're a wide receiver, you have to know what to do when he holds on to the ball longer. I'm guessing he has, I don't know how you adjust your routes, right? He's expecting you to do something, and the only way you can know what he's expecting is over time, because my guess is his thoughts are probably different than other quarterbacks because he's Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it's why Jordy, Cobb, Devontae, James Jones, Greg. It's why when he was in the scramble mode and he would extend plays, those are the guys that he would find because they knew how to move with him and they knew where to be found, right? Like they knew how to level out, right? Like it's not like running a certain route. It's finding pockets and running with him and sitting in certain pockets of the defense at certain depths and knowing where Aaron
and you have to know the defense as well as he does in order to know where those pockets are. And if you don't, then he's going to be mad at you for not knowing. You're supposed to know that. I can imagine this, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, he wanted guys to be on the same wavelength, right? Because, I mean, if he's moving out of the pocket and he's created an extra 3 or 4 seconds, he wants a wideout to be there. And he wants to be able to get a first down.
Right, and the wideout should know where he's supposed to be based on understanding the defense the same way that Rodgers understands it.
Yeah, because if you think about it this way, right? He rolls out to the left or right. Doesn't matter. Pick your poison.
All right.
So, someone is committing to come make him throw that football, whether that's a linebacker, whether that's a DB. Yep. There's a natural hole in the defense then. There's a natural hole that's being created at that point in time that he expects the wideout or multiple wideouts to fill that void. And if no one's filling that void, that's where he's got a problem. Because, like,
and they all know that if they fill the void, he'll get the ball perfectly.
Most of the time, yeah.
For the chance to catch it. All right, we're behind again. I don't care. This is awesome. And I didn't have to tell you that. If you don't appreciate that, then that's on you. The third quarter with Bryan Bulaga next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups continue along 894 westbound. We have a crash right about at 84th Street that has the left lane blocked. Squad's on the scene with this. Just be extra careful heading through there. It's a tight squeeze. You're going to see delays pretty much from the Mitchell interchange all the way to that point. Southbound on the bypass is hitting the brakes right out of the Zoo interchange all the way down and around the Hale interchange with folks taking a look at what's going on. Once you get past the accident scene on the other side of the wall, you should be fine all the way to the Mitchell. Southbound 43 backing up from just south of Capitol Drive down through the Marquette and over the high-rise. Northbound slowing from Kilbourne all the way up to Keith. When business brings you to Milwaukee, make the Knickerbocker on the Lake your home base. Enjoy modern meeting rooms, lakefront views, and refined dining. Visit knickerbockerontheLake.com to book today. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a few showers later on, a low of 52. Tomorrow, scattered showers, mostly cloudy with a high of 65 at the lake, 74 inland. Weather's brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Your Pell experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
ESPN Wisconsin's Bryan Bulaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, Dr. Aaron Holterbeck. I was there with his team at their Brookfield office. They make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art office. And they told me, like, he's been doing it great for over 20 years. Then he says, yeah, but we got to do even better. I go, what? You're doing a great one? Yeah, we got to do it even better. So he added to his team Dr. Nausheen Abbas. Great for 20 years. He wants to do it even better. That's all you need to know about Holtebeck Eye Center. Trust the experts in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com. He might be looking for even another way to get even better. We'll check on that. It is the start of the schedule of the NFL. It's supposed to be tomorrow, right? Is that right, Pebble? Wednesday, but everybody's doing it today. What's the latest we have?
The latest we have is always leaks here and there, but this is actually official from the Packers' official website, Packers.com. It says that the Bears and the Packers in Week 16 are going to play on a rare Saturday night of matchup between the teams. It's either going to kick off at 3:30 or 7 on Fox. The start time is going to be determined for a later date. This is going to be the second time the two teams have faced off on a Saturday. The previous time was in 1964 when they played at Wrigley Field.
I don't think. What did they say? You said a rare?
Rare
There's no
Saturday,
rare anymore. They make it up on a daily basis. They could be playing at 3 in the morning. It wouldn't surprise me. There are no standards or rules. I don't know what the biggest surprise that you can ever remember as a player, Brian, where you got, they're not doing that. Come on. Because now they're not uniforms. They're costumes. First, understand that. So you can have a million different costumes. And they can play anywhere, anytime, any day.
Yep. Doesn't matter now. I mean, do we know if that game's home or away?
It's away in Chicago.
Okay.
They should play at Wrigley Field. You know why I should play at Wrigley Field? Because that wall's like 2 yards out of the end zone. Them guys smack into the bricks.
Well, Northwestern's playing at Wrigley Field a couple times coming up this year.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Iowa's played there, and I watched the game. It bothered me tremendously.
Right, it's not safe, right? And the end's at the end of the end zone. You got bricks right near there, right?
Yeah, it bothered me watching it. Yeah. Like, it really bothered me. So away on a Saturday. See, it's like why? Like what? Like why? Like what? It makes no sense. And like here's the thing. It's Week 16. You know that this division is going to be tight.
Yeah,
and every day of prep matters in this division. So now you're forcing a team a short week to travel in a division race that matters. Like it just, and let me guess, like Green Bay will probably have a Thursday game. They'll probably have another like special game, which is like a holiday game that doesn't fall on a Sunday. They'll have a Monday game. They'll have it makes no sense. Like it bothers me like that. Like, and they're just doing it to try to.
I don't know why. I'd be curious to try.
They're jumping college football because of the college football season, and so they're taking college football's time slots, and that's what they're doing.
There are bowl games that day, probably on that Saturday, the 20th.
Yeah, bowl games don't count.
Yeah, they don't.
Bowl games are preseason. No, they don't count. There's the playoff in college football, and bowl games. I'm still amazed they even play them. But that's a good question because it's hard to know actually why they're doing it. Because
it's money. Yeah, obviously it's money. But like to me, it's just you
have more different times. That means more times to watch the NFL. Fewer games playing at noon and 3 as it used to be. So now they're going. Those are games. Some of those games are going other times. So that now we're controlling instead of 6 hours, it's now up to probably on a week. It's like 25 hours.
And they will have first round playoff games on those days, the 19th and 20th
in the college
football. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. It just bothers me I look at it only from a player standpoint and the prep standpoint and having to speed up your clock now a day.
You want as much time as possible because this guy Bryan Bulaga told me you're never healthy other than the first game of the year. So by the 16th week, everybody's hurt, and you need as many days as possible.
Yep, and now you're traveling too.
What's the problem with traveling?
Well, because you're leaving a day early. So now you're leaving even a day earlier in the week, and it throws off everything in the schedule. So it's like, to me, there's no need for it. in a division that is going to be extremely competitive. I don't know. That bothers me.
There's not there. All right. If you were a player, is there anything you can do to address that? What?
No, I mean there's nothing you can do.
All right.
I mean, I'll be interested to see what game is before that. Who they play, where they play, what time they play before that. Because if they get hit with a 3:25 or a night game before that, that is crooked. That's bad. That is just bad. It better be a noon kickoff at home the week prior. So they have so much time, that's max out time to recover.
And I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying, as a fan, I never thought of that once.
Yeah.
I mean, every hour is a benefit.
Yes. Yeah. So, like, if they're not noon kickoff at home before that week against Chicago traveling on a Saturday, that's garbage. That's bad. That's really bad scheduling by the NFL.
Does that mean that you also believe that two teams should have about the same time of prep for that game? There's one team. How big a benefit is it if we get X hours and the team we're playing gets 6 less hours or 3 or whatever?
I don't think we need to go like tit for tat, like they need to be equal. But like if you're going to make a team get up and travel and play a day early, that means they got to leave a day and do all that. Like, you better make sure that team has as much time as they can to like recover. Like, so you like don't play them at 3:25, or don't play them on the road where they have to travel again, or don't play them in a night game the week before. Like, that's like, it's essentially like playing them like on like one of those like those really fun, like where they play like 3 games in like 11 days. Like one of those really fun things. Like, it makes no sense. Like it just player safety. Well, what about it? Like, what about player safety are you talking about? Like, so I'll be interested to see their schedule in the run up to that Saturday game. Because if it's like, and it's the fact that it's in division, because we all know week 16, 17
division,
and it's division games. They're big games. And that's what kind of bothers me about it.
And we've addressed already the worst thing is the Thursdays, but we're going to have schedule thoughts from the Doctor of Football, Bryan Bulaga, this year. Tune in Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by Buck star Brandon Jennings. I think they might have more to put in this. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks and Six, how it became the rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Check it. There might be something more than just this. Now, Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. Fourth quarter with Bryan Bulaga. He doesn't need time to do the radio show like he does as a player. He has no concern, upset about schedule. What do you mean it's earlier this week? Come on. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Your chance to spend an afternoon on the links with ESPN Milwaukee is just a tap away. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open happens July 15th at the Ball Golf Course, and we're inviting a lucky ESPN Milwaukee fan and 3 guests. Hang out with your favorite ESPN Milwaukee hosts, play around at one of Wisconsin's most popular courses, and enjoy food and drinks throughout the day. Open up the contest tab in the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to win this fan foursome with ESPN Milwaukee.
To be labeled as bourbon, a whiskey must be distilled from a mash that is at least 51% made of this grain.
What is corn?
Correct.
I'll take liquor for 800.
A cocktail of rum, grapefruit juice, lime juice, simple syrup, and maraschino liqueur is a daiquiri named for this American author.
Who is Ernest Hemingway?
Correct again, Marie. You're on a roll.
Liquor for 1,000, Ken.
Taking a shot of whiskey and immediately chugging a beer is a quote-unquote recipe for this drink, named because it was once served to workers ending their shifts.
What is a Boilermaker?
Unbelievable. Where can you find the best variety of beer, wine, and liquor?
Well, Ken, I am from Discount Liquor, where we have an encyclopedia-like knowledge of all things alcohol. We've been a family-owned and operated business since 1960, and we've all grown up with alcohol as a second language. Our business has literally served multiple generations of Wisconsinites. In Milwaukee, on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha, on Main and Barstow.
Discount Liquor.
It's happened again. Another local organization switching to business technology from James Imaging Systems. This time, it's St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care. CFO Sally Parente.
We were unhappy with our previous vendor. It was always a big production. We also had some issues with pricing.
And now with James Imaging Systems?
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. We're getting value here as well.
Just what you'd expect from James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed company. AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation.
I love that they're a local company. They've been a wonderful business partner for St. Anne Center.
Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jack Centurio Star Wars night bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. May is officially the kickoff to home improvement season, and now is the time to tackle those big projects you've been putting off. Right now, during the home improvement season sale, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. But it gets even better. For a limited time, you'll get no interest and no payments for 12 months, and you'll receive a free entry door with your window purchase. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free in-home estimate today.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, we've learned former players laugh when the NFL says they care about player safety, because it seems to me, based on what the Doctor of Football, Bryan Bulaga, has said, that's the most important thing, right? If you were in charge and you were the assistant to the commissioner, the first thing you would try to change is as much free time or whatever you can do for the players. That's the biggest issue, correct?
Yeah, I mean, as they get later into the season, they need max out rest. If you want a good product later in the season, you need to give these guys the time to rest.
Last 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They need the turnaround time to get their bodies right to go out and play. Like, it's just what it is. Like I understand you still got to have your Monday night game. Right. You still got to have your Thursday night game. Like, that's still going to happen. And that's what it is. Like, no matter what. Like, I don't know when the last Thursday night game is. I think it's like week 16 or whatever.
But you would probably end it a little sooner.
Well, I don't know if that's possible, because like each team plays.
You're now in charge. But the point is, you're not telling them to get rid of Thursday. You accept it. But you'd probably stop after what? Week 13, week 12? I mean, it doesn't.
If we could get all the teams played a Thursday night game, get Amazon there filled by week 13, that'd be great.
All right. Okay. Good. All right.
If there was a way to do it, right? Like, if there was a way to do that,
there's always a way to do it. We know there's a way to do it. There's a way to play anywhere in the world now.
That's true. That's very true. I just think that as you start to get towards the back half of this season, like, we're talking 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you need to start giving these guys the full 7 days. You need to figure out a way to get them the full 7 days.
And you believe the coaches will now. The coaches aren't crazy like they used to be.
No, they're trying to figure out ways to get these guys rest. Right. They're trying to figure out ways to take reps off their legs and stop beating their bodies down throughout the week.
Any positions more than others?
I would imagine, obviously, the running backs coaches are taking care of their guys as much as they possibly can.
All right.
There's only so much you can do for your linemen, right? Your D linemen and your O linemen. I think you can give your veteran guys a day off, or only make them do individual, or put them on a pitch count throughout practice. You can do that to both O-line, D-line. You could put every one of your veterans on pitch counts throughout practice and take reps off their legs. But you could do it in a way, or even if you're a head coach, you can have tons of like higher tempo, like jog through type periods. And you can have a couple team periods where you're going, full speed, and obviously not tackling, but thud, but then just a bunch of high tempo against the scout team, like essentially higher tempo than a jog through, but not thud. So you're taking heavy contact off of these guys. And LaFleur does, I will say this, LaFleur in his first year, he did a fantastic job keeping guys fresh throughout the season. He did a great job at it. How he's adjusted his scheduling now, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what he does now. But
so we need to get Troy Vincent on for you two to have a little chat, right? And see because Troy Vincent's like the big shot, right? In terms of
he does all that now.
Football operations.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like they can say they are doing everything for player safety, but like when these teams play 3 games in 11 days or whatever, like guys complain about it every year. You can't look at me seriously and say, yeah, it's player safety.
And he knows it because he played.
Of course he does.
Yeah,
of course he knows it. Of course he knows it. Because the thing is, he never did that. They didn't do that when he was playing. Like they didn't do those things because the scheduling wasn't like that. Because they weren't playing on these crazy days like they do now, like anywhere, anytime. Like it wasn't like that.
All right, it is time. Pebble, what do we have for our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question? Now, by the way, Celtics and the Knicks coming up next. Celtics are going to win.
Discount Liquor Twitter poll question at the Homer Hour on Twitter, at ESPN Milwaukee on Twitter. Do you believe Shams Charania's story that Giannis Antetokounmpo is open-minded about leaving the Milwaukee Bucks? Right now, 54% say yes, 46% say no.
And I say yes. I don't know where it came from, but yes. He's the ESPN that had the guy before him. You just take a list of all the things he said. He almost never misses. But now, Bryan Bulaga. Do you believe him? You're a little edgy on the media.
I do. I believe him.
All right.
I believe him.
And you have the Celtics or the Knicks tonight?
Celtics.
Easy. Like I say, they've led by 20 in every game. They're going to win. Or am I too confident?
No, I think they get it done. All
right. To the Celtics and the Knicks. And a future meeting with Troy Vincent and Bryan Bulaga. Sorry, I had to cough there. Do you think that'll happen, Pebble? Do you think we'll get such a meeting?
I think we can get it done eventually.
Yeah. The key there, eventually. Nice. Next.
Likes to laugh, likes to have fun.
Backups continue along 894 westbound. We have a crash right about at 84.